Hello. Hey, how's it going? It's Keith Barnes. It's Apocalypse Movies. It is our movie watching challenge, and it's been a little while, but uh, I was challenged this time by my good buddy Brian to watch the 2018 film by Lee Winnell, Upgrade. Uh, Lee Winnell, is actor, director. He was in Saw. Uh, and a few other things. Let's see. He appeared briefly in Aquaman, and he's good friends with James Wan. They're both Australian, both very talented guys. Came up together in the filmmaking scene in Australia. So, uh, yeah, this movie's crazy. Let me just go ahead and say that right out of the gate. I actually didn't know fully what it was about. I didn't watch any trailers or anything. I just heard people talking about it. Um, it got a lot of praise, certainly from the guys in our group and some of the people I follow in the movie space online. Um, so it's obviously a small, very small budget film. It had like a $3 million budget, $3 to $5 million budget. It sounds like from an interview that I listened to with Lee Wanell, but and it made for such a small budget, made 17 million, which is pretty huge. Produced by Blumhouse Productions, which I mean that's what they do. Jason Blum, they make these small movies and they turn in a huge profit. So um, and it was shot. Look, it was shot in Australia for the most part. Um, but yeah, I didn't watch any trailers for it. I never watched a trailer. I didn't know the synopsis. I know a lot of people referred to it as a better Venom movie. And this came out a few months before Venom, so I know a lot of people were calling for Leon. He should have made Venom because if you see the movie, obviously it's a standard revenge story. Uh, and it seems to be set in a kind of a I don't know does it say what year? It doesn't really say what year and where the setting is. It's just set in a relatively, I guess, nearish future. Um, everything is technology is way more advanced, obviously, in this whatever time this is set in, and it's kind of set in just a random big city, um, kind of a mega city one kind of vibe, and or like Detroit in RoboCop, where everything's kind of dirty and run down, but also super high tech as well. Um, Real cyberpunk kind of feel. And this man is kind of anti technology. He still drives his old hot rod car and his old regular combustion engine vehicle. His wife works for a big tech company of some kind, and uh, for whatever reason, him and his wife get set up. They get mugged, they get attacked, car crashes. Seems like the technology's turned on him, and his wife. They get attacked by some guys, group of guys. His wife is killed. He's left paralyzed in the hospital, and then he wakes up sometime later. He's obviously in a wheelchair. He's paraplegic. Everything sucks, and tech genius comes, offers him a chance to rebuild his life. Wants to implant him with this cybernetic device that he's created uh, in his spine, and he will have a chance to walk and move around and get up and have control of his body again. He goes for it. Turns out this device actually has a mind of its own. It is obviously a highly intelligent, highly artificial intelligent, seemingly almost sentient entity. It begins to speak to him, and that's where the Venom comparisons come in. So right when that started happening, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's why everybody was calling this movie a better version of Venom." Uh, and then from there, he's just it kind of is a standard revenge story. He wants to go after the men who attacked him and murdered his wife. That leads him down a number of dark paths, literal dark paths. Um, and he winds up doing stuff that he really didn't. It kind of gets a little in over his head. And then there's the dilemma of how much control he has over himself versus the device inside of him, which is called STEM. how much control he gives to STEM versus how much control he has over himself. Um, that becomes a struggle throughout the course of the movie. But STEM does give him the ability to take over his body, and he is able to fight, like really do all kinds of incredible fighting. And I want to say kung fu because it's very different. He kind of fights. That's one of the things that's impressive is the fight choreography in this movie when he's fighting against some of the villains in this film. He really fights like a machine probably would. Um, he's a human, but the machine is controlling him, and so the fighting is very it's impressive because it's a great performance by the actor. Let me get his name really quick. Sorry, I don't have that handy. Logan Marshall Green, who is American. Um, I mean, he's really good in the fight scenes. He just has this look on his face where he's like, he's doing all this crazy fighting, uh, but his face is like, whoa, what is happening? I don't like this. Um, and yeah, it takes him to places that he did not think he would be able to go. Um, so that was very impressive. And the thing about the fighting, not as much fighting as I thought there would be in this movie, because all I'd ever seen is clips of some of the fight scenes. I thought this movie was just nonstop, just kung fu fighting all throughout, but it's not really. There's not a lot of that, or not as much as I thought. But it's still very good. Fight choreography is incredible in this film. It's really kind of like not anything I've really seen before. And it kind of got the feel of like The Matrix, where you hadn't seen fighting like this. Um, I hadn't seen fighting this like that since The Matrix, I think. And it's a shame this movie wasn't bigger. It was a hit, um, but I don't know. I don't know. I just thought this would be a bigger deal. Just sitting here watching, I'm like, this is incredible. I've never seen anything like this. So I'm not going to spoil it. I'm actually going to keep it non-spoiler because, but oh man, the ending, obviously, because like I said, it's a standard revenge story, so it's somewhat predictable, um, somewhat. Uh, but the ending kind of has a feel. If you've seen the movie Ex Machina, it's very much like that. Um, and so I was left feeling like, oh man, kind of ending like it's it's not a great ending in terms story wise. It's a good ending just for watching the movie, but the ending for the character, it's like, oh, that sucks. That sucks for that guy. So, um, like I said, if you've seen the movie Ex Machina, very very similar ending to that, where yeah, this entity is out in the world, and who knows what's going to go from there. Um, so yeah, this movie's a lot of fun. It's definitely very violent and gory, but it's uh, it's in spurts. It's not that I say it's violent and gory, not that violent and gory, but when it does get violent and gory, it definitely does get to be those things. But it's very good. It's very very good. It's frenetic. It's crazy, but it also has its moments of slow down, let you catch up and get to know this guy. And yeah, it's tragic, but it's definitely got its humor. Um, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So thank you, Brian, for challenging me to upgrade. I'm probably the last person in the world that didn't see it, but finally it's on my list. So I definitely, if you have not seen Upgrade, highly recommend it. Um, yeah, I'm surprised, Brian. I'm surprised you watched this movie because it's Brian doesn't like gore. So I'm surprised he got into this movie. So I'm curious to talk to him about it, what he thought of this movie. But anyway, so yeah, Upgrade. That's the movie I was challenging you. That's my review. Make sure you tune into the next movie watch challenge next week. I challenged my buddy Jacob Bartley, to one of my favorite films. It's from 20. Oh man, I think it came out 2009, maybe 2010. It's one of my favorites. Colin Farrell, Ray Fiennes is In Bruges. Very small film. I don't even remember it being in theaters. I actually just watched it maybe 5 or 6 years ago on HBO, and it's awesome. I love it. I can't wait to see what he thinks of that. So make sure you tune in, find out what he thinks of In Bruges, and definitely, of course, as always, check us out on Apocalypse Movies, our YouTube channel, and check us out every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Apocalypse Now. We talk about all kinds of stuff happening in the movie world. Once again, my name is Keith Barnes. Thank you so much for watching our movie watching challenge. You guys take care out there.